Hey guys, so every time I'm hanging out in the park, I always see a group of people slacklining, and it amazes me because they make it look so easy. So for today's episode, I'm going to be learning directly from an expert exactly how to walk on that slack line. Hey guys, I'm here with
Wagmar.
and Ty is a slackliner. So he is going to be teaching me how to slackline in an hour.
Okay, so the basics of slacklining is to learn your center of balance on the line that can move. Slacklining is like a tightrope, but it is loose, where a tightrope is almost like a solid wire. So you're learning a center of balance on the line within yourself. That's the basics of what slacklining is.
Cool. All right, well, let's get started with exactly how to slackline.
So I want you to start on your dominant foot. So if you were to kick a soccer ball, whatever you feel is the strongest part, and you're gonna put it up on the line. And basically the beginning steps is to just learn how to commit and stand all your body weight up onto the line in one go. The quicker you commit to pushing pressure onto the line, the easier it is. If you go slow, it'll wobble. If you push, it'll be solid.
Okay.
So keep trying a couple of those. So when you're trying that, think about your arms as extensions to help balance. So if you find that you're always falling to the left, you have too much weight on the left side. So you need to counter that with your right hand. Hands need to be up over your head to help create that balance up higher. Okay, I want you to pick a point at the end of the line where it's mounted to the pole and stare at it and don't look away and stand. Don't look away. Don't look away and keep breathing. Keep breathing. Use your hands as extensions. Alright, so I would suggest now trying it on your other leg. Because that leg is kind of getting work now, right?
Yeah.
So the idea of learning how to walk on the line is having balance on both feet. So one foot will be dominant, but the other one needs to develop. So if you spend some time on the opposite foot, just to familiarize yourself with the standing, it's going to make you a more solid walker. So think like tight core, tight torso, a little bend in the knees, and lots of movement in the hands and the wrists up here.
Okay, so now it is time for the time lapse. So this is Ty holding my hand and basically walking me through everything. As you can see, it's really, really wobbly. I mean, it was really hard to kind of try and control the slack line. Even with him holding my arm, it was taking all I had just to kind of stand straight up. So as you can see, it's even hard for me to get up onto the line. So Ty told me to move a little bit closer to the pole. It was a little bit tighter, so that made it a little bit easier. And, you know, I can start to stand on the line now, which is good. And then I try back in the middle, and yeah, again, not so good. So I move over to another line, and this one is a little bit closer between poles, which makes it a little bit tighter, and that made it a lot easier to walk on. So what I noticed was the amazing community of slackliners. It was really cool. They really welcomed me into their group, and everyone was kind of giving me tips and tricks, and you know, everyone kind of stopped to take a look and point out what I was doing well and what I was needing to improve on. And you know, everyone was just hanging out, having a good time. Apparently the slackline community really likes their medicinal marijuana, but I was staying focused, so I didn't partake in any of that. So, you know, I'm getting the hang of it a little bit, I think. It seems to be getting a little bit easier for me. This is where Ty is kind of telling me to control my breathing, because that was one big part was, whenever I get super focused, I tend to stop breathing. So he was telling me to just stay focused, keep breathing, don't stop, and it'll get a lot easier for me. And it really helped. So this is like my favorite part because, I start out so well. I look like I'm actually knowing what I'm doing when it comes to slacklining, and then all of a sudden the further I get in, gets a little bit more wobbly, and then bam, I am down for the count. So Ty's going to give me one last little piece of advice, and then I'm going to be all set for my critique.
Okay. So the line will move in a different way in different spots depending on how far you've gone. So when you get into the center, it's saggy. There's the most movement, right? It's loose. So you need to think about that. It's rigid here where it's a little stiff, and then it loosens up, which means you have to loosen up with it. You have to be able to move with the line. Don't fight it. Let the line move and you go with it. And just keep your hands out, keep looking where you're going, and you'll find it.
Every day of the week. I've only come here on Sundays, so okay. Yeah. Are you just here visiting, or?
Nice.
All right, so that was after my 1 hour of practicing slacklining. So Ty, how did I do?
You did amazing. I mean, you went from wobbling around on one foot to crossing like 3/4 of the slackline, right? You're doing everything correctly. Your hands are up, you're breathing, you're focused, you're stepping. It's just a matter of time until it just all comes together as one, and then it doesn't matter where you are in the line, you're totally balanced. So, I mean, doing awesome. Doing so good. Okay. So the objective of slacklining is learning the control of your body and your breath. So you're learning to focus on one thing, stillness, balance within you. Nothing else exists. It's powerful. It's energetic.
That's amazing. So thanks again, Ty, for showing me how to slackline. And make sure you check out the next episode of 1 Hour Hobby.